I was brought up in Palmerston North. Well, I came from Palmerston North, and I had Hindu parents. My mother and my father were into worshipping Hindu gods, Hanuman monkey gods and Krishna gods. My mother would pray to the gods. She would light incense to the gods. They were statues. I would pray to them, believing that they were always going to look after me. I believed that the gods that I prayed to never made a difference in my life. Like, they never did anything. They never transformed the inside of me. I just had to be a good Hindu girl, doing the right Hindu things. I rebelled, and I think that a lot of rejection was in my life through abuse, through sexual abuse. And so I rebelled against it, and I started living two worlds. I tried to be a good Hindu girl, but there was this other side me. I was a party animal. I went out partying, meeting guys, drugs, you name it, I got into it. I got married at the age of 20. 8 months after I lost my mum and my dad and my nephew in a car accident. I believe I got married to this Indian man because I felt that there was an emptiness in me. Maybe getting married was going to fulfill that emptiness. It never did. And my marriage broke up. That was a turning point. And I kept thinking that I was looking for something, and I thought it was love. That's why I started looking into alternative things like clairvoyancy, palm reading, creative visualization, meditation. I even started meditating so I could go into this other world, thinking I could find peace, but there was no peace. There was absolutely no peace. I suffered loneliness, a really deep sense of sadness because I felt rejected by my family because I hadn't been the girl that they wanted me to be, and I would have guilt trips because my family would make me feel like if mum was alive or dad was alive, they'd be turning in their graves. And I got to a point that I was so depressed that I even wanted to commit suicide. I even got to a point where I remember driving my car to this edge of this cliff thinking, do I do it, do I not? And the only thing that held me back was I had a son, and he was young, and I thought I couldn't leave him. That's the only thing that kept me from committing suicide. So I turned to more and more drinking, I suppose, to ease my mind and to take the pain that I was going through. I had cafes and everything, thinking this was going to be the be-all and end-all of my life. Success was going to be the next thing. Yes, I did have a business. Yes, I made money. I did quite well, but there was a really deep loneliness, emptiness in my life, and it just went on and on and on. Where I owned my business, right next door to me, was a girl who had a hair salon, and it was a girl that worked in that hair salon who was just coming to know God, and she introduced me, told me about Jesus, and I didn't want a bar of it because I didn't want anything to do with any God, but I remember praying a prayer in my room, if there is really a real God out there, make yourself real, and are you Jesus? And that was the turning point of my life. I had terrible nightmares that this one particular night, nightmares were tormenting me, fear, just fear of death, fear of dying in the dark. I got so scared that I even turned the light on. And I remember trying to go back to sleep, and these dreams and this darkness was so around me. And then I remember wanting to call on the name of Jesus. I remember the name of Jesus. And what happened was, I couldn't get it out of my mouth. This name just wouldn't come out of my mouth. And then somehow I called on the name of Jesus and everything disappeared. It was like the dreams and the darkness and everything just went. It was amazing, and I got this tremendous peace. And then I told my friend the next day that what had happened to me, and she said to me, "You need to go get baptized in water." After I got baptized in water, a few days later, things began to change in my life, and I knew that Jesus became so real, and because things in my life started to change in the area of alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, and all that stuff it just left me. When I invited Jesus into my heart, he became real. He was a real God because he came inside me, whereas every other God was either a statue or they were something so far away. But I know that Jesus filled me with his love, which I could find nowhere else.